And welcome to another episode of the Enchanted Forest Profile Characters, where we talk about characters as part of the Enchanted Forest Tales. I am your host and creator, Jeremy Evans, and we're going to talk about Ivy, the plant girl. So, if you have listened to the show or you haven't listened to the show yet, you're going to be introduced by Mick, a wizard goblin that lives in the forest, well known, and then you have Dorn, the bugbear, that just kind of, stumbled his way through the Enchanted Forest. And Dorn represents the audience. So whatever he knows, you know. And then Mick, knowing all the places in the forest, basically, or just well known about the Enchanted Forest, he's basically your tour guide. And then any other character that joins that group, Francis, Old Lady Faye, and all that, they all kind of lived in the forest long enough that they have their own backstories and stories that they're experiencing the forest. So enter Ivy. Ivy is a plant girl that she's the only character that I can think of that I've created that you actually seen born into the show, and she was an experiment that was born in Mick's garden due to Nipsey giving Mick the wrong seeds. So, and then we find out that due to the sunlight and being outside and being born, she becomes this beautiful, beautiful flower. And when she was born, the only person that she connected to was Francis, and basically kind of just mimics off Francis, and so she's becoming kind of like a mini Francis in her own way with her own little spice of personality. So she is voiced by Saoirse Fitzgerald, and at the time I needed more female voice actress to come in and do voices, and I always liked her voice because she's from Europe, she's from Ireland, and I always liked her accent, and I thought maybe she can do something different with the voice. So she's the only person that I know so far out of the country of the United States that does a voice for me. And she does a wonderful job. And as we see Ivy kind of grow, she's in her first phase, her first form. And then later on in the episode Growth Spurts, we start learning from Nipsey that his goal for the plants that he was creating at the time, the one that didn't work out for him down below that actually took his arm, the goal was the experiment plants that he created were supposed to go through kind of like an evolution, becoming smart plants, learning and being better and being more connected with his garden and plants alone. So Ivy was supposed to kind of be that character, that creation that Nipsey wanted. But Nipsey decided to let her be her and just live her life the way she wanted to do it. And so due to the situation of Mick not wanting to like have her in her garden, she gets sent to Faye to go live with her and start her life over there. And so the goal of it through the growth spurt episode is that we're going to see Ivy grow differently, no pun intended, grow into these different kind of characters. And it's kind of like she has her kid years, her teenager years, and her adult years. And so the goal is for the listeners to see those growths happen throughout the show, at least her teenager years. We probably won't get to see her adult years for a very, very long time because the goal was to kind of get her in her teenage years. And then that's where she'll start kind of learning about herself and go through the whole kind of like mother and daughter that is Old Lady Faye to her, along with Francis being the best friend for those two to go on adventures. So now you have Mick and Dorn, and then you have Ivy and Francis. So I wanted to kind of have those kind of duos kind of going on their own adventures and everything like that. And I'm very excited for Ivy because of the adventures that I have planned for her or written for her to be this only character. You will see her grow and become a person through our ears. And the fun part about this is it's going to be fun for Saoirse Fitzgerald because she is going to be kind of learning too about the character and how she has to probably change her way of doing the character as she is growing and all that, and to kind of show that plants, creatures do live in this forest and other parts of it. So Ivy being the only experimental plant that we know of, there are other plant creatures in this forest. We just haven't met them yet. So that's all I have to say about Ivy the plant so far for this season.